Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio, and this week on Check Please, marketing manager Ashley Dema has a proposal for all Chicagoans. She says for killer cocktails, fantastic food, and unparalleled city views, you've got to stop in at her selection. But choir director Kate Johnston says that when she's not singing, she's talking about her favorite spot. She says for a blending of two unique cultures that hits all the right notes, follow her to her recommendation. Up first, program coordinator Tim Vu presents his pick for the best Persian plates in town. He says for a wonderful, traditional, memorable meal, make your way to Albany Park and check out Kabobi.
I love cooking. As a chef, it makes me happy. Always I like to invent. Always I like to create, to improve, to do something different than anybody else. I do this from my heart. The food is Persian, Mediterranean, is healthy. Most of the dishes, they're grilled, filet mignon, shish kebab, chicken, salmon, charbroil. We serve them with basmati rice and grilled vegetables. If everybody says it smells good, the number thing that I hear, oh, it smells so good. They really enjoy the food. You can't go wrong. Everybody loves grilled dishes, Mediterranean dishes, and we do the best. I believe we are the best Persian restaurant in the country, period.
So Tim, you say Kabobi is cooking up a storm. Why'd you choose it?
I chose it because I came to Chicago to attend university at North Park, and I spent 3 good years there. So Albany Park just means Chicago to me. It's like a mini Flushing, Queens. Very diverse, a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different ethnic foods there. So I go back there about once a month to get a haircut. My hair salonist she's from Iran. And so I always just venture and take a look at all the different restaurants and came across Kabobi and I tried it and I loved it.
So tell us a little bit about the food at Kabobi.
I would say, yeah, Persian, Mediterranean, best of both worlds. If you have a meat lover, take them there. If you have a friend who's a vegetarian, I would say take them there. You can't say that a lot about different cuisines. So you can't go wrong either way. And just the aroma, the spices, the lamb, the grilled meat, it's just really, really good food.
Well, Ashley, what'd you think?
I loved it. I ended up having a chicken dish on a bed of rice with the sour cherries, and it was such a large portion. I was blown away. My fiance and I both got an entree, but honestly, we could have shared, and we had leftovers for days. It was just delicious, and I got to try a soda I really liked called Vimto.
I had that too.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So cool.
That's my
Blackcurrant
first time
soda.
too.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
So Kate, what about you? What'd you think?
Oh, we loved it. We took a couple of friends who had not had a lot of Persian food before, and they were thrilled. And each of us, again, you're right, the portions actually are enormous.
So
like,
big.
oh my goodness, it's like
So
a bed of rice is like an actual bed. And we did different kinds of rice too, and one of our friends had the lamb shank, which, of course,
Oh, I got that
oftentimes
too.
Greek cuisine is famous for that. This I would measure up against any Greek lamb shank I've ever had. It was just stunning. And someone else had the chicken kubita and beef kubita, and then I had a spinach stew, which was really interesting to try. I wanted to try something I hadn't had before because I'm also very fond of this kind of cuisine.
So Tim, tell us about, aside from kebabs, aside from the lamb, which I know you're a huge fan of,
Yes.
what are some of the other dishes that we could get at Kabobi?
My friends and I, we got the vegetarian sampler, so it had like the falafel, baba ganoush, grape leaves. Came out in like this cafeteria tray. It was pretty cool. Felt like I was in school again. I just got really like, oh my gosh.
But a whole different school.
Yeah, really different school. What else did we get? It was really interesting. It's called lebna. It was like this yogurt, but it was interesting. It had like olive oil on top. And for me as an American, I usually use olive oil for cooking and putting on my tomatoes and mozzarella. That's about it. So to see it on like a yogurt, it really made me appreciate olive oil more.
Yeah, and the lebna it's like a Lebanese cream cheese almost, but it's really a yogurt that they just let sit so that it gets very dense, and then they'll spread it out with the olive oil so you can put it on your food. So who's in this restaurant eating with us?
Lots of families. I mean, I saw so many people there on, I went on a Sunday night, but just that Sunday family togetherness feeling. A lot of locals, I mean, so many different blendings of culture there. It was amazing. I felt welcome from the time I walked in. And I just loved that there was so much space, like to your point, we got a big table in the back to ourselves, and it was just really private and intimate, but still this feeling of togetherness. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also thought it was really nice to see, I saw several men by themselves having their meal that obviously they felt comfortable and at home, and at the same time there was a table with a lot of children, and I just felt like the people were so warm.
Okay.
You know, that when they would kept coming and checking and making sure everything was fine and did we need anything, even though it wasn't table service, there was always somebody around, and you felt like it was somebody from the family. That's how it felt.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Kate. The owner's dad came out and greeted us when we first sat down, which I thought was so nice. You know, very personal touch.
He greeted us as well. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So for the size, because everyone's been talking about the size of these
Yes.
portions. So how are the prices then?
Pretty good for me.
Pretty good,
It's
yeah.
a good price point.
I think they're fair.
Very fair, and for the quantity of food, it's quite a steal. So.
I would agree. I would have preferred to pay perhaps a little less and gotten a smaller portion, just because I usually don't eat that much anyway. So it was great to have the leftovers, but I would have preferred maybe a half portion if possible.
Well, Tim, you chose Kabobi. Sum it up for us.
Family Persian fun. Roll up your sleeves, have a good time. Feel like a king or queen because you're going to eat on a silver platter.
And Ashley?
Great food. Inspired me to try cooking myself at home. Happy to be with other family members.
Great. And Kate?
Just a lovely place with warm atmosphere, beautiful food, and definitely a place I'd love to go back to.
You can check out kebabs and more at Kabobi, 4748 North Kedzie Avenue, 773-583-1400. Open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person is $20. Ashley Demma knows there are many ways to see the city, but her favorite is from the rooftop terrace at her top floor treasure. She says for fantastic food, delicious drinks, and a sensational view, head to Michigan Avenue and join her at Cindy's.
You really need a minute to kind of grasp what it is that you're walking into. There's a lot in terms of the ambiance inside and obviously what's going on outside and behind me that you want to take in.
We get everyone. Certainly a lot of tourists, an immense amount of hotel guests that should expect, first of all, a wonderful experience, a beautiful view, and seasonally inspired, delicious Midwestern cuisine. My philosophy with the table is if there's space on the table, we're gonna drop food for you. We like to fill it up and make you feel like you're in our home, you're in our lake house. So family style portions, as soon as they're ready out of the kitchen, they come right to your table.
One thing that's great about Chicagoans is they appreciate the fact that they can see their city from every perspective, and not a lot have seen it from this one. What I think guests say when they go home is, Mom, Dad, you're coming in from wherever it is you're coming in from, I cannot wait to take you to meet Cindy.
So Ashley, you say Cindy's is superb. Why'd you choose it?
I love Cindy's because it's such a great location and the history of the Athletic Hotel, and it's back, it's alive, it's in its prime again. It's a place to be seen, and it's a place to see Chicago for what it is, and I just loved it. It's beautiful.
Well, it has personal significance for you, right?
It does. I was actually engaged at the hotel, so it's been a place I come back to for special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, so it's really near and dear to my heart.
Oh, wow.
So what kind of restaurant is Cindy's?
Cindy's is about the experience. It's about stepping back through time. It's about seeing seeing Chicago for what it is today, laid out all in front of you. And it's about enjoying unique food and drink that you can't find anywhere else.
It was absolutely amazing. It was a beautiful experience. Each of us had different cocktails so that we could try them out, and we were pleasantly seated in the library, which was right by the Andy Warhol painting. Every detail of every dish was just so beautifully done. My husband had the duck confit, and he loved it, and I had the salmon. It was like magic. It was just a wonderful, wonderful meal. And we had the violet mousse for dessert, which was really wonderful. So,
What kind of cocktails did you have, Kate?
I had the Grey Garden, which was
me too.
Pretty good.
And then my husband had the Spanish gin and tonic.
Oh, I wanted to try that.
Yeah.
What did you have to eat?
I had the scallops. Some scallops were pretty good, some scallops were a little bit on the salty side, but then my wife had the duck breast, which is good. And then I love strawberries, so it was really cool. Actually, we got the strawberry popsicle.
Me too. I love that one.
It was a lot of fun.
I thought the flavor was so good. A lot of times with strawberry flavored things, it's not quite authentic to the way a real strawberry would taste, but this was perfect. What I really liked is they had so many different offerings, and even on the weekends there's a different menu. But there's brunch options, there's small plates to share. We went with the charcuterie, which I really love. And I had the pork belly. And I think that there's something for all kinds of appetites. I'm not really into seafood. I love the idea of it, but they've got such a great selection that I think I'm going to be brave and try that next time. So
I was also really impressed at how our waitress was so knowledgeable about the building, about the construction of the restaurant itself.
Interesting.
She really brought it alive, and I thought that was really so nice that it was just a part of her demeanor to be helpful. You know, we asked questions, but she knew every answer and was just really lovely.
Well, the Warhol painting is actually of Cindy Pritzker, hence the name Cindy's.
Oh,
and her son
got it.
is one of the main developers of the Chicago Athletic Association, which is why and it is an actual Warhol. It is not a replica. So
my
it's
goodness.
kind of interesting to get a glimpse of it when you're there.
And that's what I love. You could spend so much time there. I mean, even when you leave the rooftop, just spending some time wandering through the hotel and seeing the other rooms. I mean, there's history everywhere you turn.
Did anybody play bocce ball in the
Did
fun
not,
room?
but I was
I do
tempted.
it a
That was
lot.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, me. All right, we'll go back.
The Italian roots, I can't get away from
Right,
it.
exactly.
What's really cool is back where you play bocce ball, there's a big C that looks very familiar, like the Chicago Cubs. So I think Wrigley used to be a member there,
He was a member of the club.
and he bought the Chicago Cubs, and then he needed a logo. So it looks awfully familiar to the Chicago
So he
Cubs logo.
repurposed it. Yeah. The actual Chicago Athletic Association was built for the World's Fair. And it was actually built so that people didn't think we were a hick town. Like, hey, where we're stopping at, look at this beautiful building. And it has this Venetian Gothic facade.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And just very imposing and you know, special. And then later became a men's club. And then now it is the hotel and multiple dining venues throughout. And
And if you're a big Instagram person like I am, there's plenty of things to gram around Cindy's. So I felt like I got amazing sunset views and just being kind of next to these historic landmarks, really cool.
okay, so you can eat, you can gram, you can do all of these things there. But now I have a question. At what price does that come at? Like, what did you think of the price, Tim?
It's a little bit pricey, actually. But like you mentioned, it is a special occasion. So I knew that going in. I knew that this place is historical. It's beautiful. People are young and vibrant, want to be seen. It's a really cool vibe. So it is a little bit pricey. I would only go back for a special occasion.
If you were going to try to find the heartbeat of Chicago vistas, that would be it. And you see, of course, the lake and the boats and Maggie Daley Park, of the Pritzker Pavilion, of the Bean. It's just stunning. I do feel like there are times where, you know, putting down the dollars to go have a special meal like that is worth it because it is a full
And
experience.
is Cindy's this kind of place?
I believe
Absolutely.
so, yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So Ashley, you chose Cindy's. Sum it up for us.
Oh, good enough to be engaged. Your friends will be engaged as well.
And Kate?
A wonderful place to go for a special occasion.
Great. And Tim?
Go for a special occasion, enjoy the view, be a part of history.
You can see the sights for yourself at Cindy's, 12 South Michigan Avenue, 312-792-3502. Open for lunch and dinner every day and also for brunch on the weekends. Reservations are accepted and the average tab per person without drinks is $60. Johnson has picked a spot with a combination of cultures that even the Check Please staff has never come across before. She says for genuine Vietnamese food with a Croatian kick, head on over to Western Avenue and stop in at Sunset Pho Cafe.
You know, it's a totally different atmosphere than a normal Vietnamese place, but it's a combination of our two little cultures and collided into this monstrosity.
So we do like chivapchichi, and from the chivapchichi I can create few more things like spring roll, and then noodle salad with the chivapchichis, and then chivapchichi plate. You know, like instead the pita bread, I do with the Vietnamese bread. Instead, just creation.
I mean, who else makes chivapchichi spring rolls but us? It doesn't happen in Vietnam. In Vietnam, they make these little tiny sausages. They're very greasy, and they don't taste so good. At least in my book, it don't taste good.
Honey,
Ours,
honey, so much.
It needs something else. It's a little spicier.
Like we have a lot of people, the Bosnian people here, they told me like they never tried Vietnamese food before, and they even say thank you to me because, you know, like I make them try, and then now they like it.
So Kate, you say Sunset is a crowd pleaser. Why'd you choose it?
I think it's a hidden gem. I think that Chicago is full of a lot of wonderful eateries that are hidden gems, and Sunset Pho is one of those. With the combination of the Eastern European gentleman and his Vietnamese wife, they have a really unique and eclectic collection of food on the menu. I felt like the pho just stands out as like the most amazing pho we've ever had. We've eaten there many times. I love their ginger chicken salad. The atmosphere is warm. They have a lovely little bar at the end. A couple of different terraced eating areas, so there's places where you can sort of be. It's just a delicious, down-home neighborhood place that has a unique twist.
I loved it. The one thing that really struck me was that I've never really cared for calamari before, but I just loved it. It was delicious there. And I had a pho for the first time. I'd always wanted to try it. People had told me it was similar to ramen, which I really do enjoy, but this was something completely different. I mean, really.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. It was the sort of food that I felt I would want if I had been sick or if I was homesick. It's just comforting, you know.
Yes.
The broth was so delicious. Because I'm Italian, I ended up kind of doing one of these where trying to get the noodles.
Love it.
But it was delicious.
I
loved
do
it.
whatever it takes to get the noodles out.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Your point, Kate, we were kind of left to our own devices in the back. I felt like we were definitely given our space to socialize, but the waitress was very attentive, so it was wonderful.
Good.
So Tim, you're Vietnamese. What did you think?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the true moment. I'm Vietnamese and Chinese. Kate, it's near like the auto mechanic area. There's a lot of shops right across the cemetery, and I loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much. I can't wrap my head around it, but it was so off the beat, and that's awesome because I live by Argyle. I go to Argyle all the time. Yes, it is the Vietnamese area. Yes, they have great food, but it's really nice to see my community branching out and trying different areas and neighborhoods. And the food represents quite different. You know, they have your traditional great food. It's really good. Also, they have kind of like a Cajun New Orleans kind of shrimp. I don't know if you guys had the yummy shrimp.
I did. That was
It's pretty yummy. Just a really good variety. And I don't know if you guys tried the Yugoslavian spring rolls or.
I was going to ask if either of you did, because that's the first thing I tasted, and it's like it's the perfect merging of their two cultures, because you got this beautiful savapchichi in the traditional roll, and it's amazing.
It was really good. It's nice to try my food with different twists, and it's going to keep me coming back if they just try new different things. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you had told me that the way you decide if a restaurant is good that's Vietnamese is, would you bring your parents? So would you bring your parents?
You guys want to know?
Yes.
Absolutely. I would 100% take them there.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's
Definitely take them there.
So Nak is the chef, and she is Vietnamese, and her husband Zell is Croatian, and so they've that's why you do see these Croatian sausages kind of mixed into a few. There's a banh mi with it on it, there's the spring rolls. They definitely merged it, and I don't know if he did this when you were there, but we'll go around and offer you shots of the local brandy.
Oh, I didn't get that. Darn. Did not get that.
They're just very welcoming people as a couple. They somehow put together something that makes you feel so at home.
Yes, I will definitely go on that, because I just imagine if my aunt married a Croatian guy or guy from Yugoslavia, you know, what would it be like if I went back to their home? It would look like a bunch of guys and gentlemen, and there's a couple of girls sitting at the bar. And then in the back would be my family eating a bunch of Vietnamese food, sitting back there in the corner. And then they had this like vibrant decor, like different types of paint, which is kind of funky, something my aunt would do. And then in the middle of the restaurant's a disco ball.
Yeah,
So
I like that. That was funny.
it's just a wonderful mix I've never felt before.
So it's Vietnamese food. You know, there are a bunch of Vietnamese places you could go.
Sure.
Would you go back here?
You know, I'm not sure that I would. The food itself was great, but we had gone on a Saturday night, and it was a little bit quiet for a Saturday night. I was kind of surprised. And I don't typically go up that way. It's near Rose Hill Cemetery. You know, for me, I think it was just a little bit removed, not a whole lot to linger. So go for the food, but maybe just head right back home afterward.
Appreciate your take, Ashley, on that. And that's part of why I was hoping that we could bring them to the table, because I do think that they are a lovely restaurant that is often overlooked just because of their location.
Well, Kate, you chose Sunset Pho Cafe. Sum it up for us.
I think it's a lovely, eclectic menu with warm people and a great place to hang out.
Great. And Ashley?
A lovely introduction to Vietnamese cuisine, interesting location, and we'll try again in the future.
Good. And Tim?
If you need to get your car fixed nearby, go for it. Grab a beer with your Croatian buddies up at the bar, and then hang out with the Vietnamese folks and partake in the food. Quite an experience.
You can try the pho for yourself at Sunset Pho Cafe, 5726 Northwestern Avenue, 773-275-2327. Open for lunch and dinner every day, except Tuesdays. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $18. So on this week's show, we featured Kabobi in Albany Park, Cindy's in the Loop, and Sunset Pho Cafe in West Ridge. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we came to Kedzie and dined at Kabobi. Tim recommends it for the huge portions of flavorful food at reasonable prices. Ashley thought it was a great family-friendly place with very welcoming service. Kate enjoyed the large portions, good for big groups, and the warm service. Then we made our way over to Michigan Avenue and chowed down at Cindy's. Ashley recommends it for an upscale experience for special occasions. Kate thought both the menu and views were stunning. Tim loved the historical space and enjoyed the food, but thought it was quite pricey. Lastly, we found our way to Western Avenue and stopped in at Sunset Pho Cafe. Kate recommends this unique blend of foods with a homey atmosphere. Tim loved trying the Vietnamese food he grew up eating with a Croatian twist. Ashley was pleased with the comfort food and the relaxed vibe. We've had a wonderful time this week. I want to thank my guests, Tim Vu, Ashley Demma, and Kate Johnston. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine Diorio, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.